Greetings everyone, my name is Boone Zavik and I'm the Vice President and Marketing Manager of Immuno Laboratories. Now on Tuesday, January the 8th, I initially had my blood drawn because I want to get retested to find out exactly what's going on with my food sensitivities, what's going on with some of the other tests I'll be getting into in a few moments, and then most importantly, how can I improve my health this year? I'm sure a lot of you that are watching this video made some New Year's resolutions. The number one resolution of 2018 was lose weight. So I'm sure a lot of people are wondering, how can I lose weight? How can I feel even better? How can I make sure that I keep the momentum of the goals and the desires and the dreams that I've had back in 2017? How can I keep that momentum moving into 2018? How can I start new in 2018 and keep all of that progress moving forward? So we're going to be going through my results today. In the following videos of next week, I'm going to be sharing a lot more details, especially with one of my lab teammates helping me with it, but a lot more details about the specifics of the testing. How is it conducted? What are we looking at? And how does it matter in your health? But I want to make sure to at least go over my results and share what I found out. So first off was my Immuno Bloodprint. Now the Immuno Bloodprint tests on food sensitivities. So these are not immediate food allergies which could potentially cause anaphylactic shock or immediate swelling or rash, things like that. I guess the best example is on airplanes, they used to have peanuts all the time, but then there's a lot of individuals that are deathly allergic to peanuts, so the airlines no longer carry it. Another example is on the movie Hitch with Will Smith. I believe he eats some kind of a shellfish, he gets really swollen, he has to immediately get Benadryl. I believe they actually had to take him to the hospital as well. So those are immediate allergies, and that's measured by an Ige reaction. So what I'm going to be going over are my food sensitivity reactions, which is still a type of hypersensitivity. It's still classified as an allergy. The biggest difference is that it is a delayed reaction, meaning if I eat the food in the morning, my symptom might be coming up in the afternoon, in that evening, potentially even the next day, because it takes the time from it entering my mouth till it goes through my digestion and then being assimilated and then let out. So let's go through my results. So on the Bloodprint test, we look at 154 specific food antigens. I was actually incredibly fortunate. I really thought I was going to have a lot more reactive foods because I was getting tested after the holidays, after I might have had a bit of junk food and maybe a little bit stressed with the holidays. But I was really happy to see this. I only had a total of 12 reactive foods. So out of 154 foods, 154 common foods that we routinely eat, I was only reactive to 12 of them. So here's the foods that I was reactive to. I was reactive to almonds, kidney beans, navy beans, pinto beans, yellow wax bean, so a lot of beans, crab, oyster, pumpkin, vanilla, watermelon, wheat, and brewer's yeast. So out of all of these, all of my results were just a +1, which is our, I guess our lowest reactivity. I was saying I guess because I guess our absolute lowest would be 0 reactive, but the +1 is our lowest reactive result. So pretty much all of my foods were just a +1. So that's really good. That means that the food that I'm eating is not triggering a lot of inflammation in my body. But 2 of the foods, the pinto bean and wheat, came up as a +2 reaction. So we're going to talk more about that in future videos of what do these reactivity levels mean and how does that change how I take action on my results. So those are my food sensitivity results. Now with our food sensitivity test, we offer a thing called a subfraction or a reflex test. Now with this test, we can further dive into various foods that have very specific parts to them. For example, the egg subfraction. So what are the parts of an egg? Egg yolk and egg white. So that's what I tested myself on to see precisely, do I have any issue with any part of the egg when I'm uniquely exposed to it. So with egg white, negative, yes. Egg yolk, negative, awesome. So I'm actually much more on kind of the vegan dietary regime, but a lot more times than not end up being more vegetarian, so I have been eating a lot more eggs. So it's very interesting to see that I'm not reactive to them because I'm exposing my body to the food a lot more. So if there was any chance of having a reaction, it would probably be now. And throughout my entire life, I've always been non-reactive to eggs. So not only was I not reactive on my Bloodprint results, but I was also not reactive on the specific subfractions of egg. So I can still eat eggs. Excellent. Next up is the milk subfraction. So you might not realize that there's a lot of different parts to milk. There's actually 5 main milk proteins, and they essentially boil down to being casein, which we know of in various protein powders, and we all know of the other protein powder, which is whey. And there's also one other unique element in cow's milk, which is lactoferrin. This is mainly used to help people assess if they have an irritable bowel disease, but these are the 5 parts of milk. So in my results, I was very fortunate once again. Not only was I non-reactive to milk in my main food sensitivity test, but on the subfraction of milk, I was also non-reactive to casein, non-reactive to all of the other parts of milk. So I can still ingest milk, which is excellent. That makes it really easy to find foods that I can eat. But don't worry, we're going to be sharing a lot about if you were reactive to these foods, things to watch out for, and then also substitutes of what you could have instead. So now my next result, this was the one I was actually the most concerned about because it's very hard to get rid of this, and that's Candida albicans. Candida is a yeast overgrowth, so everybody has a certain level of Candida, and that's okay. But if you take various antibiotics that will wipe out your entire gut flora, your entire kind of gut rainforest, so to say, then Candida is very opportunistic. It's kind of like that nasty little weed that as soon as the grass is cut, it just instantly grows and takes everything over. So I was very fortunate once again to be negative for Candida albicans. So that's incredibly exciting. I do not have Candida. Once again, Candida does really feed on kind of sugars and salty and kind of fat, bad fat foods. So maybe I might have had some of those foods over this past holiday, maybe a few extra sweets. But I was very fortunate to not have fed Candida, and I actually attribute a lot of this to taking a really good probiotic and doing so routinely, which we'll be getting into that a lot more in the next videos, because we want to give insights not just about what were my results, but more importantly, what do they mean, and if your results happen to be different, what you can do to have results like myself in the areas that I've done well in. All right, so now we have the last test, and that is the total IgE, so total immunoglobulin E. So earlier I was talking about immediate food allergies and how that is an IgE reaction. So for example, the shellfish, the peanuts, if you get swell up, also immediate sneezing. So sometimes when people smell something, or if there's pollens in the air, like environmental allergies, those are all triggered through IgE reactions. So I did the total IgE test because it's only a $44 investment. It makes sense to at least find out if I have any elevated IgE in my blood. Now, unfortunately, I do. It's not the highest level that's possible because the range of reactivity is anything above 18 units. So it goes from 18 to 80 is equivocal for atopic allergy, which means I potentially have some kind of immediate allergy. So my actual results were 35. So it's of course above 18, but it's well below 80. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if they still have enough of my blood that they can actually run a true panel of 36 environmental allergens and see exactly what's going on. What am I reactive to immediately? Because I can just tell you personally, there's quite a lot of times during the day that I just start sneezing and I'm not sure what's triggering it. My assumption, because I used to have an allergy to this a long time ago, is that it's probably dust. Usually dust causes me to sneeze, and I know that a lot of people are like, well, yeah, if I was to snort dust, I would probably be sneezing too. But the difference is whether you're having a high level of it and it's just kind of blocking your airway, so then you're sneezing to clear it or coughing to clear something that's blocking your airway. For example, if you were to accidentally breathe in water, of course you start coughing and kind of choking to get it out. That's your body's reaction to get it out. But if you're just having a little bit, just small little molecules of dust going through the air and hitting your nose and then sneezing, that's going to be an allergy. So like I said earlier, we're going to dive into a lot more about what was actually measured in these results, and then if your results are different, what is it that you could do to avoid these things, and then how is it that these results help me, especially the Immuno Bloodprint results, how do they help me in my dietary habits moving forward? So I'm really excited. Monday we're going to have a special guest that's going to join us, and then in the following days I'm going to be bringing in several other guests, people from our laboratory, to really go through and dive through what's going on in these results, what are we measuring, and how can we help more people. So Thank you so much for tuning in for my result reveal. This is day 2 of the vlog, and I'm going to be going through this entire journey of sharing with you, what is it that I'm going to do now? Because, knowledge is potential, action is power. So now I know what I need to do, but then the question becomes, what am I going to do? And we're going to be diving more into that on Monday and the future videos. Thank you.